With that, also a very sensitive and deep topic. And the Kenyan ladies have been doing extensive work in Kenya and around, working in the subject and doing some incredible impact in this. So they're going to be talking to us about a look into the future without the female genital mutilation. I'm going to hand over to Dr. Sellah Kingo'ro, who's the ambassador of Kenya, and with Josephine to talk to us about this. Ladies, welcome, and I hope you're ready. I saw your cameras going on and on for a couple of times, so I hope you are on and ready. Over to you, Sellah, I can see you.
Yes, thank you so very much, and good day wherever you are. Kindly, I will request you to allow me put off my camera because my internet is quite weak. And I would also request that our PowerPoint be shared on our behalf, if that's possible. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes. I can, Sellah. I'm just trying to get if Patrick can assist with
Well, let me, Tato, let me
sharing the PowerPoint. Oh, thank you, Ingun.
Yes, because Patrick, I think it's a Kenya problem this afternoon because Patrick is also on and off. So I'm going to share your PowerPoint.
Thank you so much, Ingun.
I think I found it.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, then I have to share my screen.
Yes.
Okay, let me see if I can make it bigger.
So as you do that, Ingun, thank you so much. I think I can proceed. I would like to virtually welcome all of you to Kenya and take this as an opener to your future visit, physical visit, inshallah. My name is Sellah Kingo'ro, as you have been told, a female Wave of Change ambassador in Kenya. And Kenya is a beautiful place. We have a lot of wildlife and specifically the giraffe that stands tall, just like Kenya itself. Kenya is beautiful. We are focused people. And for the next 30 minutes, we'd like to just share with you the kind of world that we would like to have in Kenya, or the female wave of change Kenya would like to see. Like many good things, Kenya also has some disadvantages, some challenges. And one of the biggest challenges that we face is the cultural practices in some of our communities that are detrimental to us. As you have already heard, female genital mutilation is the subject of our discussion today. We call it FGM for short. And in Kenya, we say we want a future bila FGM. Bila is a Swahili word that means without. So a future without FGM. FGM is the partial or total removal of external female genitalia for non-medical reasons. In Kenya, about 4.5 out of the 25 million women have undergone FGM. That's about 20% of women in Kenya having undergone this particular practice. Most people think that this practice must stop. Most Kenyans do think so, but the greatest opposition is from communities that still hold it as part of their tradition. The practice affects many countries in the world, not only in Kenya and not only in Africa, but also world over. Now, this is despite the fact that Sustainable Development Goal 5, and specifically the target 5.3 seeks to eliminate FGM by 2030. So this year, Female Wave of Change Kenya decided to fight against FGM, and we took this as our main theme for the year, partly because of the negative effects FGM has on physical health, psychosocial, educational, as well as the relations between persons. So today we are here to share with you part of the work we are doing in fighting FGM through storytelling. Mama Yvonne was really a great inspiration in the beginning of the year, and together we have put a few things for you to listen, for you to hear about this particular story. So on the next slide, I just wanted to give you an overview of how this session is going to be. We are going to have a poem from Hope Ochieng, a 10-year-old creative artist. And then we shall have a story of Josephine Ndirias, who is one of our female wave of change wave makers, but also a survivor of FGM. And then we shall share with you a sneak peek of the book that the Female Wave of Change Kenya team has put together. It will soon be out, so you can be able also to have more detailed information on this. So I would like to request you to enjoy, to learn, and also to purpose to make a difference in whichever way that you can. So this minute, I would like to invite Hope to just say hello before her video is played, and I would like to request Ingun as well to see if she can share that video. So that's it. Ingun, if you can just remove the PowerPoint and we can have Hope say hello as we look for the video. Mama Hope, oh, good. Oh, Mama Hope, can you please unmute?
My name is Hope Ochieng. I'm 10 years old from Peace Junior School, and my piece today is about a future without FGM. I am an African girl, beautiful and wonderfully created by God. But my heart is in pain when I think how my beauty is being taken for granted by the so-called traditions and self-interest. When I grow up, I need to be in full gear without my inner beauty being mutilated, and so I say no to FGM. Listen, did you hear that screaming? That cry of pain of a forced cat? The bleeding disturbs me, for her flaw is my concern. Why treat her like a second-class generation? Yet all what she wants is light of hope for her future. Cheap are the tools used to destroy her womanhood and beauty, yet expensive and in vain, trying to restore her back, and no one can pay the price of a lifetime wound. I will stand to oppose FGM without fear of being intimidated. Brave and courageous, I hope I'm Boy Ochieng. I will fight against FGM until it comes to an end by 1. Speaking out about the risks of FGM. 2. Educating us on the rights to their bodies. 3. Have community outreach on the cutting season. 4. Strongly campaign on the ban of FGM. Just to mention but a few. It takes a village to raise a child, but it will take a family, community, and government to support end of FGM. Traditions, respect my beauty and dignity. FGM is a girl child abuse. FGM, your days are numbered. I, as a scout, stands for girl child in my efforts to make this world a better place. I I will, and I must join the fight. Who am I? I'm an African culture. Hashtag say no to FGM. Hashtag I stand for the voiceless. Hashtag drop the blade, set the gun. Hashtag a future bila FGM. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you so very much, Ingun, for sharing. I was just wondering if Mama Hope is here so we can see Hope. Say hi.
The sound is not very good.
Yes, but at least you have seen Hope. I think there's a problem in Kenya this afternoon. I'm really grateful that we actually get to have you listen to us by the poem being pre-recorded. I hope you can hear our other stories as well. So Hope, just keep on there, keep on hanging there. Maybe the network will become better as our session moves on. So now I would like to invite Josephine Ndirias, who is our female wave of change Wavemaker, as well as an FGM survivor, to share her story with us. Josephine, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sellah. Good afternoon, good morning. So my name is Josephine Ndirias from a Wavemaker from Kenya. And I'm here to share my story as a FGM survivor. So female genital mutilation is a cultural practice in my community, that is the Maasai. I come from the Maasai people. And so the practice is done as a cultural practice. From childhood to manhood, you must go through it at a certain age. In a concert, you come home and you see the arrangement they are doing. They're doing a big celebration. You know, it's a big celebration thing because they used to do it. It's sort of a pride that my mother has nurtured me until the age of 14. And now I'm ready to go through the card so that she will celebrate as my mom and my dad that they were able to this girl to that age to be able to be a woman. So so I went through it at the age of 14, and I mean, as I used to grow, I used to see it happen in the community, but I think that time, unfortunately, we didn't have a voice because the women in my community exist to be seen, not to be heard. So I knew at some point I must go through it, and now this was my time, and you are given condition that at that time, you should prove your mom, your parent, your sisters so proud, not crying despite the pain, not making any movement. So I went through it. It's done by an old granny within the area. They are known to do that. So I went through it, and I mean, simply because I did not know it harm or I didn't have any knowledge, I went through it. It was painful. I nursed my wound for almost a month. Then, but I call myself lucky because I survived. And apart from surviving, I also was so lucky to have continued with my education. And I didn't know that there was anything wrong with me going through FGM. I completed my primary school. Then when I went to high school, I went to a school that is not situated in my area, in a school where we have people from other tribes. So one day, the teacher, my history teacher was talking about this cultural practice, and they were talking of tribe doing female genital mutilation. Unfortunately, in that area, they don't do. So I proudly said, yes, we do. And I went through it because I didn't know it's something wrong. And these people were laughing at me. But at some point, I was asking myself, why? And so it took me long. Then I started shying off, talking about it. And when I went to college, when I went to college, I also had people talking about it. But now, when I gave birth, when I got married and I gave birth, the nurse in the hospital, when I had my firstborn, was there armed with a scissor to do an episiotomy, because definitely because of the scar, I couldn't push the baby safely. Otherwise, I could have had a lot of tears. So she did an episiotomy and she did a suture. So apart from enjoying having my baby girl, I also had to nurse the episiotomy suture. Then I had my second-born daughter. It was also the same. This nurse was, and unfortunately, my second-born daughter, I had a prolonged labor, so I almost lost my baby. But this nurse was quick, easily to pick the scissor and do another episiotomy. So now I'm nursing a second episiotomy. So when I had my third borns, and lucky enough they were twins, I couldn't bear the pain of going through another episiotomy. I personally chose to go for a CS. And after my second baby, if I may go back, I chose to say, this is painful, and unfortunately, it was a practice that was done by my people in several years ago, and we are still passing this pain from one generation to another. And that's when I chose to start a community-based organization, to educate my people that FGM is harming women. It's destroying us. It's depriving us our right. And I want to say, lucky enough, we have seen a lot of change in the community. The number have reduced simply because the pain I've gone through, I can't imagine my daughter going through it. Neither do I imagine any other girl going through it global, from my village to the global level. We need to end it because it's painful, it's traumatizing, and it is what is making our women not even to voice out their grievances. Because in our culture, you are told that you do what the culture says without questioning. And that has made us to never get access to our right, simply because we were being taught that you should never talk against anything. So personally, I've been running a community-based organization for the last 3 years. I think we are somewhere. We are advocating on female genital mutilation. And we are still doing it, but the number is really going down. First, we have change of norms, because in our community, there was a big celebration, but now those who are still doing it, they're doing it under the carpet, and we are still singing an endless song until we save every girl from female genital mutilation. Because from my experience, I wouldn't imagine another girl going through it. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much, Josephine, for sharing your story. And I always feel a bit troubled when I listen to these stories. Now, anyway, coming back to the Female Wave of Change Kenya, and because of the stories we have heard, the stories that we have lived, the stories that we have seen, we decided that we will write a book that pictures a future without FGM. So I want to tell you just a little bit about the book in about 5 minutes so that we can have any question answer session if there is. Our book sought to capture experiences, to offer pathways to eradicating this practice, to lay out a historical, political, socioeconomic, legal, medical, or even educational perspective to FGM. And we have looked at several things in terms of the book itself. Thank you so much, Ingun. You can go to the content of the book. In the book, the first thing we do is help you understand what female genital mutilation is. So we demystify FGM. And we do not only look at the theoretical definition, but we actually look at practically what FGM is to different communities and to different peoples. Because as I told you, it could be partial or total removal of female genitalia. So we look at the different communities. The next slide, Ingun. Thank you. We also look at the origin and practice of FGM. And here we share with you where exactly this practice is taking place. Where did it come from? As we are talking about it being a tradition, how did it start? Why did it start in the first place? And then in the book, we have also looked at the role of different persons in FGM. And it's not our role or the role of propagating FGM, but also the role of eradicating FGM as a mother, as a teacher, as a local leader, as a national citizen, or even as a global citizen. So if you grab this book, even if you are from Slovenia, like my sister Alenka have met today, you will find your role, what you can do to help eradication of FGM in Kenya and other parts of the world. We also look at the existing efforts. Who is doing what, at least in the Kenyan context, whether they are legal efforts, whether they are social efforts, so that we give you an opportunity to support whichever efforts you think can help in enhancing this particular fight. Then we look at the impact of FGM on the individual, on the society, as well as on the country. Of course, we did not forget in our book to share some stories like Josephine's story. But we Josephine, maybe you can mute. All right, so we look at the stories from different perspectives. We have a story from East Africa, that is Kenya. We have a story from Central Africa in Cameroon. We have a story from the South in Zambia. And we have a story from West Africa in Sierra Leone. And some of the persons who've shared their stories thankfully are actually in this conference, and we really are grateful to them for sharing their perspectives. And then we finalize the book by looking at a future without FGM. And we paint the picture of how our country, how our continent will look like beyond, or having moved beyond this particular practice of FGM. The goal of our book, on the next slide, Ingun, is that we can be able to raise awareness. As I shared earlier, most of the opposition is coming from the communities themselves. And so we would like the communities to understand where this is coming from, what is the rationale of having FGM in the first place, and how is it impacting people, and therefore is it really important and relevant for us to have this practice today. We also would like our book to be used to educate. We do have several learning courses, not only at the university, but also in civil society organizations on gender rights, women rights, and so on and so forth. We think that this book can actually contribute towards educating the people on the rights of women. Then we also believe that our book will facilitate trauma healing. This is because in sharing the stories, we have not only shared the pain, we have also shared what happened when this person moved beyond the pain. And I think that is what is really important. We also offer opportunities for people to network or to reach out for support. Survivors who are not yet beyond the woods can actually reach out for support in terms of psychosocial support. Then finally, we hope to inform both law and policy. So in doing all these 4 things, our belief is that we shall be able to transform behavior and attitude, not only of the communities that are practicing FGM, but also of all people across the world, including you, that we shall be able to speak to your mind, to implore you to engage in this particular field in one way or another. And if we all do so, then we will get to our goal, which is a future bila FGM. So I would like to end there to thank you very much. And yes, all of us together, regardless of color, if we put our hands together to end FGM, indeed one day it shall come that we get a future bila FGM. Thank you so much.